Hello everyone, welcome to a very special live stream tonight. It's special for two reasons. One, I'm alone tonight. Jessica has to be with the kids because my parents are out of town. So, you're stuck with just me this evening. But we'll see what we can do for this live stream, see how many people like it, and see who's all here. Oh, Mark S., good to see you here. I see an interesting set of tapers there. Yeah, there is an interesting set of tapers. Alright, let's pull you all back here and see what we can come up with. SS Smithing, good to have you in the house. I'll pull you all back and show you a little bit about what I'm doing tonight. So, as it said in there, we kind of got a bit of a special live stream tonight. Got this on the... Let me rotate that. Okay, good. Oh, yep, we're live, everyone. So while everybody's coming in, this is kind of a special live stream. You guys are going to get to see me actually do some of my work for a client of mine. So I have a client of mine that I do a lot of work on, or I have done a lot of work on a motorcycle of his in the past. And so that's what we're going to work on tonight because I'm really far behind and I need to get that done more so than I need to get a little small vise done. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. So, a couple years ago, yeah, it's been a couple now. It might have been last year, a year and a half ago anyhow. I made this Vine kickstand out of stainless steel for a motorcycle for a client of mine. And I need to take and do some adjustments to it because the bike is sitting a little different the way that they did some stuff. So they have to... So the kickstand's actually sitting too far forward and allowing the bike to slouch over too much. So we need to bring it back a little bit, and I need to change the little end detail over here like what you see what I got going on here. So, yeah, I'm going to say hi to a few people here. David L. Hillier Jr., good to have you here. Take it easy on sending the gift whenever, that's cool. I'm behind on everybody too. Warp Legacy, sup, how you doing? George Mew, good to have you here. SS Smithing, once again, good to have you here. Chris Spalding, hello. Carmelio Martinez, good evening to you, sir. Chris Rowan, sorry, buddy, we're already started, so. Humanity, yep, we're live. HOJ Forge, it goes well. So, good to have everybody in the house. Thank you all for being here. Silop, good to have you here. Sam from Greenway, or Sam Greenway, hi from the UK. Hello, Sam. And good evening, JG Clark. Dragon 2. So what I'm working on today, I will be working on this little bit of a vine here. I have to change some dimensions around. Like I said before, this is for a kickstand for a Harley, and actually that particular Harley with my work, I did a lot of vine work on it. I put a lot of vine work up the bike, up the frame of it and things like that, and it actually won Editor's Choice at I believe it's an Easy Rider convention or show, and then it won Editor's Choice again at a national Easy Rider show. So there you go, there you have it. Some of my work's been featured there. Won some awards. Lord and behold, there you have it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be adjusting a few things, and then if we get time, and this doesn't take up too much of my time, I do have the coal forge running. We are going to take and do a little Russian rose for Valentine's Day, and hopefully everybody will enjoy that. They're pretty quick and simple to do, and you can do them with not a whole lot of special tools. That's what I like about them. So. Yeah, Mark S., it is an awesome bike. It's not my brainchild. The bike is not. It's been through several different bike shops, and I have just done my part on it, so I can't take all the credit for everything, but I've done side panels for gas tanks, and I've done spine pieces and fender pieces, things for the gas tank. You name it, I've done a lot of stuff to this bike. A lot of stainless steel work, things like that. Pretty good for a guy who doesn't know how to forge a pair of tongs. So So one of the things that I replicated in the video, and I can't show a whole lot, I don't know how much of this is hush-hush, you know how bike competitors are, motorcycle people when they're entering competitions and stuff. But here's an old gear shifter. And yeah, so here's the old gear shifter. It's like a suicide shifter. It goes down along the left side of the bike so you can engage the shifting. It shifts in that direction, that orientation. So say you were the bike, my face is where my hand would be normally. It does that. And we trade it for, and I'll just give you a real quick peek of what it is. So it is something like this. That's going to be the gear shifter now. So, and before anybody gets on to me, that I did not make that knife. So no credit on that one. I did the twist to the little fitting bracket today. I had to put a pretty severe twist and bend in it to get it shaped. That was just flat. I had to get that shaped like this thin little piece here. This little piece of junk. So there you have it. That's what I've been doing today. So hopefully everybody else has been doing good. So all sound and no picture. Uh-oh. It must be on your end because it looks like we're live. On my end, YouTube's not giving me any sort of notification that we're having any lag, so you might have to refresh. Yeah. George Mule, I can't show pictures of the bike. It's not finished yet. It's going through another reincarnation right now at this point, and I don't have the bike sitting in front of me. Otherwise, I would show you, so you're good here. Good here, good here. Sound is lagging a bit, okay. Okay, well, it sounds like some people have good connection, some are having a little dicey connection. Check your connections. If Steve Olin, I won't be mad at you. You can you can make a blade if you want. If you're having problems with a black screen, I've done that before. I've just had to exit out of the video and come back, like reload it, and then the picture popped up. So, cool. Refreshing worked. Lips match your words again. Yep. Cool, cool, cool. Good. Everyone's here. So, alright, enough of me yammering. I need to get to work, making money. Oh, one last thing. So, you all have noticed this apron here that was made by Chip Brown at Brown Cow Art. He is making me a new custom apron. There's nothing wrong with this one. I'm still going to wear this one in the winter months. But it gets quite spicy in the summertime, so I am actually going to be getting a new leather apron here sometime about mid-summer, so I'm pretty excited about that. I went and had my custom fitting just the other day. I tried to vlog it, but the phone was full vlog that way, so. Hashtag knife hate. There you go. Randy Nyman, hello to you too. So. Alright, I'm going to flip the camera, well, I'm just going to keep it on the stand. I'm going to turn around, get over at the forge here, and I'm going to start heating this piece up. And then you'll have to bear with me, one guy with a camera and a lot of work to do, so we'll see what we can do here. Bud you guys around so I can still see your comments. Jared Lewis, this is a working man trying to get some work done late in the evening after a long, long day. Why, thank you, Kill Striker. You want the quilt in the background. I actually used that to wrap a propane cylinder that was frosting on me. It's not actually a good quilt. It's like a fake quilt that you can buy. It's not a legit quilt. That's why I didn't care about it too much. Alright. Let's see here. How cold is it? It was in the 40s today. Right now, I'd say it's probably right around the 30s. 36, something like that. Just a fuzz above freezing. That's about how cold it is. I'm going to put on my safety glasses here. And so the part that I'm going to be working on is mainly this part. I have to continue this spiraled loop out. And so I'm going to do that. mostly, and then I'm going to cut off this very end and just kind of forge it back out a little bit. And then I will take and get a torch right in here. If you guys can see that, I'll get a torch right in here, lock this carefully in the vise, and I will pull the whole coil back this way more in line. So, 70 degrees, that is a nice day. Now, one thing you'll notice about stainless steel will heat up just a little bit quicker. It kind of has some good heat conductance up the thing, so you may want to watch that if you're working with stainless. It's just something I've noticed through messing with it. I don't do a lot of stainless. In fact, I don't do any stainless for anybody else except for this client here. So hi there, Dad, here from Maine, just getting into blacksmithing. Love the channel. I'm glad you like the channel. Thank you for being here. Oh. Howdy, Shadowcaster. Good to have you here. 8 degrees there. Well, nobody likes to be where Shadowcaster is. Now, you see how quickly that heated? That wasn't in there long at all, was it? That was, what was it, a couple seconds, 30 seconds? So, stainless steel's an odd duck. So just be careful with it. It is very odd. It doesn't take long to heat. And you got to be real careful that you don't overheat the stainless, because you can actually kind of get the chromium that makes it stainless. You can actually get that to start kind of coming out of it, and it's not stainless anymore, or not very good stainless. So you guys may want to take in, you know, like I said, if you're working with stainless, you'll want to watch that. That's something to be very careful of. These are just observations. I don't know if they're true or not, so. Mike G, I do not ever do maintenance on my blower. The most maintenance I do is essentially just enough to pretty much get it, you know, oiled up. I put a lot of oil and grease in it, and they're pretty much low maintenance. They don't need anything beyond that, as long as the gears turn. So as long as you got the gears turning and they're very well lubricated, there's not much need for the maintenance. Now, however, when I first got this blower, I kind of took it apart, and there were some little shavings and like little bits of stuff in there where somebody didn't keep it oiled originally. So I kind of blew all that out with an air gun, and then I just put it in with oil, so it's good. It's a Champion 400 blower is what I'm using. The fire pot in my forge is about, it's right around 7 inches deep. Where do you keep all the power hammers at? Well, all my current creations, all the ones that I've made plans for right now, they're just all sitting in a shed, pile it up. Me and Jess, we've been talking about what we're wanting to do with them. Most likely, we are going to put them online for sale, just to auction them off, just because they are in... they're in the way, and I want to build more, so we will most likely put them online for sale, and I'll let everybody know when we do that for auctions. No real plan for it just yet, so. Send you one to Australia, I hear you. I like that. Main power hammer is his right arm. Yep, that's good. Shadowcaster, Power Hammer Museum. There you go. Oh. Noah Cicerone, how long does a bag of smithing coal last? I don't use bags, I buy it by the ton, so I couldn't tell you. If it's 50 pounds or so, you could probably go through, 50 pounds could probably last you a week if you were real conservative with it, depending on how deep your fire pot is. Now, if you're running really heavy like I'm doing, you could go up through 50 pounds pretty easily in a day. Hashtag best blade. Yeah, there's no best blade here. That wasn't mine. So, hey, Graham Pepper, good to have you here. Oh, Kevin Bunch, good to have you here as well. Greetings. Greetings to all that are here. they wouldn't be in the way if you expand your workshop. Yeah, you'd be right. So check it here to make sure it's not too hot. Okay, we're good. So I'm going to bring you guys around. Bodie, good to have you here. Good to have you here. So just a recap for everybody who's coming in, what I'm working on tonight, I'm working on a kickstand for a motorcycle that I've done work for in the past that was awarded awards in Easy Rider, like one of their, like a local thing and their national thing. It won some awards in that. It's supposed to be featured in a magazine at some point in time, although I don't subscribe to Easy Rider magazine for obvious reasons. But I do plan on buying a magazine when it comes out, and then they usually put some scantily clad gal on the motorcycles. So me and Jess, we're gonna cut out like a little paper outfit and put it on her, and that way we can enjoy. That way we can frame it on the wall and put it in our home safely. So that's our plan anyhow. So if anybody else picks that up whenever it does make it out, then you guys can do that. So Kevin Bunch, sorry you can't stay either. Date night's important. I'd be inside with my wife if I wasn't dealing with all you yahoos and showing you what I do for a living, but just as good, you know, for right now. Jessica didn't want me inside anyhow with all the kids. So, alright, so I'm going to flip you around for a moment, and we're going to start kind of coiling this a little bit. So, who are you calling Yahoo? Oh. Alright, so let's see here. So I'm going to try to flip this. Okay. Now you're the opposite way. Bear with me. Shaky cam, I know. Let me get it right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll come back and check on your comments here in just a second. So I'm going to break out my favorite, the leather mallet, to do my shaping with. And I'm just going to continue this coil, hopefully right on around. You say, why aren't you hitting it with a hammer? Well, if you hit this with a hammer, you're going to leave a bunch of undue marks that I really don't want. So I got that. Another thing about stainless, it does not work nice. It does not like playing nice with others. So now I got to heat this up here real good. Right in there. See, I'm doing it with my regular finger again. Somebody should have called me out on that, although I couldn't see. So we're going to heat up just this area here and bend it on around. Keep working that on around the horn. And so I'll get it back hot and check on your comments. Alright. Doot. Doot. That would have been a better angle. Whoa. Got a real close thing. LOL. The finger. I can't see his face. There it is. Oh. Now you get to see my ugly mug. Got you flipped around here. So let's see what we got here. A triangle taper and round stock. Yeah, that's actually fairly easy. It's not too difficult. You just have to taper the round stock down and then you run it through a Vise wedge. For anybody who wants that kind of trick. So, good. So, who was that? They said they were never. Yep, that's still my conviction there, Champ Ironworks. Thanks for calling me out on it, but you're 100% correct. That is my conviction. Now, when I made that conviction statement, it was based upon the fact that you should not try to draw out stainless steel by hand because it is a pain in the butt and it would be much better done on a power hammer. It will wear you out. So, you know, power hammer and press is your friend when it comes to stainless because you got to keep the temperature low enough that you don't lose the I guess it's the chromium that's in it, or whatever that particular bit is, but you can't, you know, so you can't get it like so super scotch high because then it doesn't I've had it to where I've melted that chromium right out of it before. At least I'm assuming it's chromium that's in it that melted out. It may have been nickel. That might be true. Instead, I'm not sure on the temperature ranges of those. That would be probably a good study point to figure out. Like I said, I don't do a lot of stainless. I don't do it for anybody except for this guy. But you got to keep the heat temperature low enough that it won't do that, but it has to be hot enough that it'll move somewhat. Unfortunately, that's pretty low in standards of what you would want to work by hand. Oh. But it doesn't take too long to get this hot, so. Body Surpress. Yeah, I could probably do that at some point. I'll try that. Let's try just turning you guys down like that. Maybe you guys can see there. That's kind of a horrible angle, but that'll stop me from having to do a bunch of camera switching. Yeah, every time I work stainless, my arms are not happy. My hands, it absolutely hates it. Got a flat spot running in here. Your elbows and hands will suffer when you work stainless. Something to keep in mind. Okay, so I got that first little wrap done. Kind of got it straightened out there. I'm going to make this wrap trail out now. Now it's up like that. Yep. Now it's up like that. I'm just going to make it come on around and trail off like this. So we'll go ahead and stick it back in the fire. I can already start feeling that heat kind of radiate up the piece. So it's kind of annoying. That's funny. I guess I should give some context. People can't see the comments after the stream's over. You see your American bucket. Good angle, good. I'm glad everybody's got that. I'll remember to not work stainless now, yeah. Yeah, it was, I keep thinking his gas forge is an engine block on a stand in the background. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, too. Yeah, stainless is, it's just a weird thing. Like I said, as far as doing it by hand, it's a pain. It's just a pain. If you have a shop, you've got power tools and machinery and stuff, you know, the drawing out and punching it and stuff like that's not bad at all, so. Do you plan to finish the hand vise live? Yes, I'm going through all the processes on the hand vise. Today, the time got away from me. I had to choose to actually make money for a living or do the YouTube live stream. So I said, why not do both? I'll make money for a living and do the live stream. So unfortunately, that vise doesn't pay the bills. So I kind of had to trade that off for this evening. But I will be doing a Russian rose later out of a piece of flat stock and show everyone how that's done. So hopefully we like that. Tuan at Warp Legacy. You haven't missed much. I just done a few little bins and I'm working on a few more here. As you can see, I'm heating this slow while I'm talking. It's really a loose fire. That's just so I don't burn it up. James Lewis, have I ever forged D2? Not that I'm aware of. I probably have by mistake, but not on purpose. Scott Elliott, I don't know of any easy parts to get for these blowers. They're usually pretty expensive. They run high. Bridget Ironworks, hello. Just me tonight. Jessica's in the house with the kids, but I'm sure she's watching on the live, so she probably says hello too. Let's see here what we got going on. So we got 45 people and 18 likes. So remember to like this video if you like it. This little stream here just to take and show people, help out with the algorithms and whatnot. And I'm going to have to control a little better fire maintenance here and probably put on a glove. Oh, thank you everyone who's hitting that like button for sure. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome, Scott Elliott. Hey, only $200. That's not too bad for a blower. Clay Sap, hello to you. Alright, I'm going to wheel it back around. Everybody likes the forged hands. Yeah, this was a kind of a fun... It's actually a pretty nice rake. I like it. And I didn't show on the handle detail, but that's where I did the mid-bar collar on it. That came out nice. I like that, so... yeah, and then anybody that hasn't seen the video, once again, I did my little pointer finger so I didn't have to take and burn my hands anymore. I did the whole forged hand on that one. That one's all out of one piece and drawn out. Okay, Carmelo Martinez said, actually we heat stainless steel a lot hotter to move it faster. If it cools, it gets difficult to move. Also depends on class of stainless. Yeah, I would say that's probably accurate. I'm not quite sure what the class on this stainless was. It was junkyard stainless that I got. It wasn't bought specifically for the job, so it was something I could get my hands on in the appropriate size that I was needing. So. I always used to say they were Russian, not Russian, because I had to make the roses in a rush to get a buddy out of the doghouse. That's funny, though. No. Thank you, Kill Striker, for that. Awesome, Smith. I don't know if you're meaning that towards me, but if it is, I appreciate the compliment, so. Yeah, if you're in coal country, I'm pretty close to coal country, so it's not too hard to get a hold of here in Ohio. But I definitely understand the qualms of everybody else, though. Let me go off screen here and grab a glove. It'll just help insulate my hands, too, from this thing. Oh, come on. All right. So I'm going to just stick it up here, work that a little bit out. In classic Roy style and fashion with this hammer, leather hammer. Somebody called it the cow hammer. I particularly like that name. Got to get this to wrap just a little bit better. Yo, we're almost getting there. I've got just a little more wrapping to do. So we're getting there. It's coming around. We're wanting this to get looser as it goes around. So you guys can see there. That's the direction of square on the bike. And so now we have to get this to spiral out loosely. Yep, you see Big Dog Forge, Tim Big Dog Forge, thank you for coming, buddy. Yep, you're exactly right. The director is not on the set tonight. It is just Roy. Poor little old Roy. Let me move that there. The kickstand, Twan. Yep. Yep, it's a kickstand for a motorcycle. So, if anybody missed it, this motorcycle I've done some work on over a couple years now. And I've wrapped vines on the motorcycle and things like that. And it won Editor's Choice Award in Cincinnati, Ohio, I think it was, at like a local Easy Rider convention. It won Editor's Choice Award there. That and a couple different bike shops that were working on it. Their work obviously was all on the bike. I didn't do any of the motor, any of that garbage. All I did was the vines wrapping up the bike and some other decorative pieces on it. And then it got invited to their national championship or their national show, which is up in, I want to say it's up in Cleveland or Columbus or something like that. I didn't really follow it too closely, but it won Editor's Choice up there again for an award, I guess you would say. So, So, pretty nice bike. Let's see here. See here, you got 120 pounds for 14 cents a pound today, but it's anthracite. Yep. Hi, Tim. Things are going well. You might have been commenting towards somebody else. No foreman party. I like that. There you go. Oh, yeah, good to have everybody here. So that's a little bit of recap. This is kind of a bit of my life, a day in my life. Not just what I do for YouTube, so this is what I do for clients and customers. Let me get this good and hot again. One thing I'll point out here that I'm doing with the coal, so I'm trying to isolate the heat out on the end, the very end of it, and I don't want that heat to radiate back up the piece where I'm trying to hold it without having a pair of tongs. And so therefore, I'm making sure that the forge does not chimney or shoot fire out up the piece. And so I'm packing the coal around the actual piece itself, and that's keeping the handle end isolated from the hot end, if that makes any sense. The coal kind of acts as a heat sinks and draws out some of the heat, especially if the coal's wet and tamped. Quick tip for anybody who works with coal. Now, I could easily have just done this in the gas forge and used a pair of tongs, but then I would get everything hot, all one uniform heat, and we don't want that. We want just that end. Excuse me. Oh, let's see here. Okay, we're getting there. So I'm going to go ahead and move you guys around. So I'm really liking this camera boom. It's working really good. Hope everybody likes that. I think it's working pretty well. All right. It's going to be like that, and like that. That's almost the look I'm wanting. So that's awesome. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll talk to you. Just need to make sure I'm getting all this direct and correct and all that good stuff. It's going to be like that. Okay, yeah, that's going to have to be heated up and just popped a few more times up that way. Alright, go put this back in the forge. Get it out. Then we'll cut that off and rework the tip a little bit. Yeah, it's for a custom Harley. It's a kickstand for a custom Harley. Yes, Graham, I did see that the other day. Thank you for reminding me. Quick ways, the best way that I have found outside of just using a flat disc on an angle grinder, which is probably your best bet, is just use a flat disc on an angle grinder like a 120 grit. You can use a 36 grit if it's going to be forged anyhow. That's a great way of doing it. That's probably like the quickest way to do it, depending on what type of slag it is. Now, some put off a heavy slag that can't be removed with just a chipping hammer. So, if you try to start hitting with a chipping hammer, it won't break off. So, it'll just it'll bend over or roll over or something like that. They do make like chipping hammers for welds that you can pop, and pop the slag or the, that flux coating that coats a weld on a stick welder. That's pretty good. You can use that to hit it. But, again, you're taking the risk. You could probably slice off and cut your hand. So the easiest way that I found is just to take an angle grinder and just hit it with an angle grinder with a flat disc, with the slag obviously pointing up, like that. All right, good and hot again. We'll move it over here. Yeah, like I said, it all depends on what type of slag you have. If it's like a light slag or a heavy slag or what. Okay. Bring that point up just a bit. And now, I'm going to get that up there. And I'm going to end up cutting this off. Probably never knew you could do this with a rawhide mallet, huh? There we go. Okay, there we go. Got that cut off. Why was I using the rawhide mallet? I was just using the rawhide mallet because it was already in hand, pretty much. Some pieces, if you got to cut them off, you can, you know, you can do it that way. But there we go. So we got what we're looking to go for there. It's starting to curl that way. I've got to reform the tip a little bit, put a taper on it. So if anybody doesn't know, this is actually a vine kickstand that I had made. So I'm just kind of redoing some work on it. There wasn't nothing wrong with it, but it's actually the second one that I made. I had to make a test one first to even see if I could do it. I did it all out of mild steel, dry run, and then got the proportions right, and then I back worked off of that on stainless steel instead. So just hopped on. Science Addict, good to have you here. Let's see here. Yeah, a rawhide mallet, like the ones you see at leather shops. I don't know what this one is, but it's just a basic roll job like that. It's got some screws in the side of it here to hold it together. It's ugly, but it works. That's all I care. Hello, Brian Neely. John Tompkins, you're here, so good to have you here. Buy something to hold your metal while you hit it. I don't know if there would be anything that would be convenient for that. Except for a striker, and you usually can't buy them. They don't serve you too long if you own them. Let's see here. John Woolover, yeah. I do my live streams always on Fridays. They're always on a Friday. Yeah, a rubber mallet does smell like death warmed over, that's for sure. Put this down here. I think I got, it's too heavy of a hammer. I don't need that hammer for it. I probably don't even need my main hammer, but we're going to use it. If you can use some sort of hardwood, something that doesn't have too much straight grain in it, people have suggested maple, people have suggested Osage orange, ironwood, stuff like that might be really good, Mike, to make a mallet out of. I believe this is oak of some sort, but it is pretty straight grain, so it will end up splitting on me at some point, but I mainly use this mallet for my copper work, so it'll probably take it a while to split. Alright, so I'm going to move this over here and we're going to get this forged out a little bit. Luckily, I don't have to do a lot of forging on this, I just have to do a little bit, so go out there. Thank you for the compliment on the apron. It is a nice apron. So if you want a little fun, try to put a little taper on something that's not quite straight. I think regular tapering is difficult. Try something that's not even straight. So there we go. I think I'm going to have to bring that tip around a little bit more. It's not quite curved. It's not quite curved where I want it. If you guys can see that there. I need to curve the tip a little bit forward. A little bit. Crabapple wood works well. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for the suggestion. Yes, I'm going to point this tip just a fuzz forward. We'll go over here now and reheat it. One thing to point out, in the video, things look hotter than they're actually in real life. So this is probably like more like a dull orange to bright orange temperature when I bring it out, but it's definitely not. It is definitely not yellow or white hot or sparkling in any way, shape, or form. And here we are. I'll put up my mallet here, so I was using that earlier. Yeah, so sorry I'm not working on the Vise tonight. Like I said, I had to get some work done for a client. Figure I'd bring you all along for the ride. I am going to do a Russian rose here a little bit later out of this small material. And yeah, that good Valentine's Day gift ideal. I think everybody will like it. Over here, right back. Let's see here. Where do I get my coal from? I get my coal from my blacksmithing club up at SOFA, Southern Ohio Forge and Anvil. They have good bimutamus coal, and I buy it by the ton. Now I'm going to end up having to take out some of these hammer marks at a later date, but I just come in and sand them off a little bit. But that's finished there, so that's fine. So this kind of sits about like that on the bike. So that'll rest out. It actually comes out and it sits right on this area, more or less, because it's so low. So because it's so low, it's actually resting back here and not on the actual foot pad, so, which is a good thing, because that foot pad's not thick enough, wide enough that it wouldn't just dig into concrete if you used it. All right. All right. What we got here? See here, X-Rattler. Roy, do you prefer coal or gas? I've answered that in other live streams. The one thing that I do not prefer either. So I prefer what gets the job done. In this particular case, it is the coal forge that's getting the job done because it needs to. Oh. It's going good, Martin. Good to have you here. So, as I've mentioned in a lot of other videos, I use the tool that gets the job done the most efficiently. I am a professional blacksmith, so I don't really care about all the nuances of, you know, I just need coal, or coal's the best, or gas the best, the torch is the best, induction heating's the best. It depends on what the application that you're doing needs. If I need to use the torch, and you're about to see me actually use the torch, I'm going to use the torch. I'm not going to fool around with the coal because I need to take and get the job done. So I need a very specific localized heat on only one portion of this piece to get the bend that I'm looking to get, or more of like a twist that I'm trying to get. And so I'm not going to mess around with the monkey around with getting all the pieces hot and stuff warping and getting out of alignment. I'm just going to use a torch because that's what's needed. If I need something that's like I need a big flat plate of something hot, I avoid the coal forge like the Black Plague. I put it in the gas forge, it gets the whole surface area hot, bada bing, bada boom, I can work the whole thing all at once. So, John Coffey, I'm doing very good. Yeah, Mark S., you're right. Gas is a little loud for video. The only time I can use gas on video is when I voice over. Oh. Yeah, Champ Ironworks. Yeah, that point on loose blacktop, yeah, would be an issue. That point is actually not connecting with the ground. It's actually sitting back a couple loops. That's where it's hitting on the ground because the bike is so low. It actually hits back here and not on that main point. It's kind of hard to show you the angle that it's at on camera, but that's what it is. Yeah, there you go, Tim. Yeah, that's a good one. Remember the old days when cameras were not part of smithing and the only time you talked was during class or demos? Yeah, I do remember that. Some days I prefer it that way. Believe it or not, I do my fair share of talking, but some days I prefer it that way. So, alright, I'm going to do this last little tweak on the end here, and then we're going to take it over to the vise and get a torch on this puppy. So this way I can be done with this portion. And we can move on to the Russian rose. Alright. So, what I got here, yep. So I need to give her a little tap that way. I want to go back to the rawhide mallet. I want to give it some undo stuff. That's about right. Beautiful. I think. We'll see. Only the customer can decide how beautiful it is. I think that last little bit. So, one of the tricks is working on something. One of the tricks is working on something that you don't have sitting on in front of you. Like, I don't have the bike here where I can bolt it up and check and make sure this works. So, a lot of times, this type of work, you know, it's sitting at a bike shop somewhere, or it's somebody else's project. They bring me just one portion that they can't really do themselves very efficiently, or need my artistic abilities. And when they do that, then I just, you know, I do it to the best of my abilities. I kind of wing it. I think about it. I think about how it should look, and I try to get it close. And they might come back and they might say, no, it just needs to go up just ever so. And then I'll reheat it and kind of just up just a little bit. But, you know, that's, so you can just do the best you can do, you know. So we'll let this sit here and cool for a moment. Let it pull some of that heat out on Olga. And then I need to take and I'll lock it up in the vise and we'll bend the other bit here. Alright. Let's see what our comments are doing here. Yeah, I did cut the leaf off the bottom of the kickstand. That was a customer's request. He decided he didn't like that look after all. He just wanted it gone. So I got rid of it. No. Science Addict 77 said, if you're a blacksmith with a YouTube channel, check out the YouTube Blacksmith Community Group on Facebook. Created it to help bring the community together. Yeah, definitely. That'd be a good thing. I personally am not on Facebook anymore. Jessica's on there. And so, but I'm happy to shout that one out. Once again, that is the YouTube Blacksmith Community Group on Facebook. Created to help bring the community together. Cool. Jeff Woolover, I'm glad you are appreciating the videos. I really do appreciate that. So next week's live stream, this what my plan is, my hopeful plan, and it was the plan for tonight, but I'd end up not getting around to it. I'm going to show hot rasping techniques to remove the material closer, okay? So you have to take and get the material down. I've got one side that's just a hair thicker than the other one, and instead of filing for an hour to get that rough material off, I'm going to do a lot of hot filing or hot rasping to get it down. Once I get it down, then it's going to go in the pickle, and we're going to talk next live stream about pickle and about how long it takes, and we're going to heat some of it up and, you know, see how quickly things come off of it. So, did I see the SpaceX launch this week? I did not see the SpaceX launch. I kind of watched a few seconds of it. Right now I don't have that much time in my envelope to watch anything of length, unfortunately. Oh, but I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool. Just goes to show you, don't tell somebody they can't do something, because they prove you wrong. And then they land 3 rockets in 3 different places. Yeah. Oh, he did that one on purpose. If anybody else caught his joke that he was doing. Yeah, the synchronized landings were epic, that's for sure. Brian Neely, I'm loving the jib. The jib crane is awesome. You know, that's what I've got it on right now. This thing I could go down, way down, or I can come way up, just like what you see here. I can come all the way over vertical that way. It has a boom that I can slide. I got it locked right now, but I can slide this way out on this boom several feet and then take you clear up even higher yet. I could take you up into the rafters, so. That is cool, Mike. Forged a casing for a turbine jet engine. It was a crazy thing to make. That does sound awesome. Backwood Rays, yep, everybody's I'm having a good day. Alright, Warp Legacy, you take it easy, brother. Oh. Hey, Backwood Rays, yep, you're very welcome for the video. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on comments here. But yeah, somebody asked me how I was liking the new jib. I like it really fine. Especially this little 3-axis camera ball head here. That thing really makes it handy. It's a little expensive, but when you're needing to combine just regular work and get YouTube work done, it's a great thing. Great, great, great. So, alright, so I'm going to cool off this a little bit. Sat long enough. I'm going to just go set it in this bucket. Hopefully this will start cooling off. The reason why I need to cool it off, I need to take and heat one area, but I need to be able to bend out on that end. So I need to actually be able to take and pull on that a little bit. So, see here. I'd like to take a pic of that. Okay, let's see here. So, I don't know what everybody's doing here, so. I'm late, but I made it. Carry on, please. Okay. Kill a striker. Sorry you have to go. If you're leaving. Have a good evening. Corey Schreier forgot it's Friday. Well, that's okay. Still getting over sedation from the doctor's office. Ooh, man, that doesn't sound good, so. Doesn't sound good at all. You want a piece of what, John? I'm missing so many comments. You guys are having the conversation in the comment section, like you're supposed to. Alright, so I will see if this isn't cool enough. Not really. I really hate when buckets freeze in the winter months. Maybe I should just heat an iron rod and get that going, so I want coffee. You guys are funny. Yes, please. Let's see here. Let me find a chunk. This will do. I want to get a rod heated up so I can melt out some of this so I can get some unfrozen water. Should have done this earlier today. Chuck. Alright, so this is kind of a boring live stream. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yes, an aquarium heater in the bucket, yeah. Corey Shire, Jessica is in the house with all the kids. So, my parents usually watch the kids during the live streams, and they're out of town this week visiting my sister in Florida. So they're going to be out of town for the next 2 weeks, actually, visiting my sister in Florida. So what I'm doing, so I'm going to be just me. You're going to be dealing with just me this time around. So, yep. What else are you going to do on a Friday night, River Mountain Homestead said. That's good to know. We haven't got any snow yet. It's still a little warm. It's like 36 probably degrees. So. Did anybody catch Daniel's live stream the day about Roy being off his rocker? I don't know if I caught that one. I know he did a video here recently. Dan's a good sport. He contacted me prior to the video he released, so he missed that. You mean the Tong fabrication one? Yep, I think that one's it. Yep. Let me adjust this camera up a little bit. So it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting about the Tong, you know, the Tong bit of things. So one of the points that I think people missed in my video about doing tongs, one of the things that people missed about my video about doing tongs, I do a lot of different style tongs. I don't champion one over the other. I was simply putting it to a thought process and challenging the thought process that the traditional way of making tongs may not be efficient for the beginner. And now where it may teach you some skills about moving material and placing it in different spots, which I believe it was intended to do, which is a very good thing, because if you look at all the basic learning exercises that you're supposed to learn, the fundamentals that you're supposed to learn, none of them, everything you make, from pulling tapers, to bending hooks, to making your first weld, all those different things that you take and do not have, not a single one of them have as much forging dimension as a pair of tongs do. So, you can think about that. Everybody has their own opinion. Yeah, that's correct. So putting that thought process out there is that if you're a beginner and you're struggling really, really, really hard with tongs to make yourself a set of tongs, if you're having a real trouble with that, you may want to invest into easier options at first until you learn good forging dimension. Now, does that mean you get to skip? No, it doesn't mean you get to skip anything. But if anybody has been a part of my channel for any length of time, you have seen several different tong videos making worldly different tongs. I've even made knife makers tongs for pass-throughs, and I don't make knives. So that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to think outside the box. Think outside the box. Too many beginners get caught up on the fact that so-and-so said or so-and-so said, and that's it, and they believe it for the rest of their life as law. Like as if it was laid down by God himself. Like the 10 Commandments, man. So-and-so said, never do this. And they never ask about different methods of doing it. The world is a huge place with 7.3 billion people exactly. And there might be, just a chance, there might be a couple million blacksmiths in this world. And no, it's not universally accepted across every single continent. So it's something that everybody needs to take and look into for yourself. If you're having troubles with a particular style of tong, try some others. They may work out a little bit better for you. So, anyways, enough rant. It wasn't supposed to be a rant, but that's explaining myself there. People went all crooked and thought I need to explain, you know, everything from I don't know how to make tongs to, you know, people, what I do for YouTube is literally child's play compared to what my main body of work is. So I just do that for YouTube to help beginners. My heart's for beginners. I'm trying to help beginners, and as many beginners as I can. Intermediate smiths, and yes, even challenge the authority of the most intelligent and most professional and most advanced smiths that you think that you see out there. Because I have taken classes with a lot of different people. A lot of different people. And I guarantee you, they all slice that pie differently. Every last one of them. I have taken classes and workshops with at least 30 different smiths. And those 30 different smiths all do it differently. They all do it differently. So, something to think about. And every time I teach a tong class, I guarantee you I'm going to teach it differently. Because I'm not into a particular style. I'm not a style junkie. And you're not going to get that from my channel. So you'll get thought-provoking. Thought-provoking nonsense. That's what you'll get from me. Thought-provoking nonsense. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I'm glad, John Plange. So. I'm glad everybody appreciated the video, so. How many people are you taking for the tong class on the 24th? The tong class that I'm teaching on the 24th of February will only be, what did I say? I think I have 8 students. There's a max fill of about 10 because that's as many forges as we have, and it's really annoying to have to share a bunch of forges with people. Actually, we have 8 forges. We could put 2 guys in a gas forge or a couple people in a gas forge, and then we can always run another additional class if it fills up past that. But yeah, I'm expecting that class to fill out really well. Lunch is included, $120. The ideal is based upon your skill set. You should be able to come out with about 5 pairs of tongs. And they're the same type of tongs that I have been showing on all my videos. They're made out of that 1/4x1 flat stock. The reins are pre-drawn, or they will be at class. And we're going to make 5 different pairs of tong. If you want to find out more about it, you can go to SOFA's website at sofablacksmiths.org and check out their website for all the details. I did a flyer for them, but we're going to be doing, not trying to make this a sales pitch, but let me grab the tongs we're going to be doing. If you guys will bear with me, sorry about that. People are asked, so might as well show what we're doing here. Alright, so I got more than 5 pair here, but I want to show the styles that I'm going to be teaching. So the styles that I'm going to be teaching, and that's in Troy, Ohio, at the Miami County Fairgrounds. So we're going to be doing the simple twist style, which make flat jaw tongs. We're going to be doing scrolling tongs, bolt jaw, wolf jaw, box jaw, and finally pickup. So that's the tongs that I will be teaching this time around. Students will be able to pick. We'll probably start with the wolf jaws first, since they're the most universal. And then we will move on through the ranks. We'll probably go to the scrolling tongs next, and then bolt, jaw, and all the rest of the type of tongs. So, yep. Let's see here. First, you've heard of the class. Why? We didn't have a date set quite, and then they didn't quite have it on the website, so I wasn't able to take and put out everything. So, yeah, dentist jaw tongs. Let me put all these things back. Oh heck, I'm just gonna set them down for now. Anyways, so yeah, so we'll be teaching Roy's super sloppy tong method at Sofa for 120 bucks. You can learn how not to do tongs. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Being sarcastic is what they say. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I'm sorry for all those that won't be able to make it, but anybody that can, come check it out. And we might try to take and do another class at a later date, and I'll get a little bit better at advance notice. Maybe plan it a few months out. And that way, anybody that wants to come, you can. It'll be a good thing. Alright. Keep myself warm. Good enough. In here. Alright, that's cooled off. I should probably do a class in North Carolina. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd like to do some travel around, do some different classes. That would be nice. So if anybody wants me to do that, you can suggest to maybe your local blacksmithing organization that you'd like to bring me in as a demonstrator or class, and a class instructor. Maybe they'll do that. So, trying. Gotta go, family time. Have fun. God bless you. Tim, thanks for being here. Cool, cool, cool. You should probably do a class in North Carolina. Yeah. The class is only 1 day. It's a 1 day only class. So, and it's going to be on a Saturday. Yeah, I could visit my sister in Florida if anybody does a class in Florida. That would be awesome. Alright, I've got copper jaws to protect the thing that I don't want to bend. And figure out which way I want to go with it here. I need to push away from me. That would be good. And grip it down. Gotta be careful because I don't want to bend it too much, right? So, see if you guys see that. I know it's a horrible camera angle. Let's see what I can do here. There's not much I can do on the camera angle, but you guys will have to excuse me. Okay, so we're gonna get this live here. Get the flame up. And I'm missing my striker. And this one's not very good. Come on, light up. This one's out of flint, but we'll see if we can. There we go. Big ball of flame. Everybody likes flame. Cool. North Carolina, less than an hour from the beach. John Coffey, that's cool. Steve Olin, that'd be great. I like that. How much stuff do you have to pack up and bring to that sofa event? I mainly do I just mainly do my hammers, my tong sets. I have to bring all the blanks, all the tong blanks, and I have got to take and get, I don't know if anybody can hear me or not now that the thing's running. Not only do I have to take and do all that, but then I have to take and get all the blanks pre-marked up for everybody. So it's more steel than anything. Everything's going to be done mostly at the anvil with a hammer, so it's good. Everybody can still hear me all right? Yes? Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I'm going to get some heat in this, and I need to give this thing pretty much a twist. So I need to just give it just a straight twist this way. So I'm going to heat this which is the thickest part, by the way. I'm going to heat the thickest portion of this and get it good and hot, and then I'm going to bend it. Good audio. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all for being here with me tonight, by the way. I didn't know if I said thank you for being here. Hopefully I can retain most of you. Not too boring. It can't be all glitz and glamour. You're welcome, John Bland. Yeah, Corey Shire, the new camera's great. I need to try to get some software. It's a work in progress. My house is far away from my shop, 100 feet or so. I want to try to do the live streams on that camera. It'll be a lot better. Way better. You'll actually be able to see stuff, colors, you know, things like that. And that's really what I want. It's going to be a little bit for that because it's quite expensive to do that. Cool. Good to have you here, Andrew Freeman. I'm still at work. You're welcome, Mike. By the way, anybody who was in the winner's circle for winning all those things, most of y'all have contacted us, I believe. I believe everybody did it last count. And we'll be mailing that stuff out to you probably the first of next week. Let's get this shot here. I think I hear somebody at my door real quick. I'm going to take a break for this. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me check. Nope, it's just me. Sorry about that. My head's playing tricks on me. Quick, somebody grab the stand while he's gone. That's awesome. Let's see here. Sorry, unfortunately. It's a desk job. Can't watch YouTube while doing it. You can listen to it. I do that a lot. I'll listen to like videos, but I'll just listen to them like a podcast. So let's see what I can do here for this. We're almost got this to go. Oh God, that's not going yet. Not going yet. Nope, watching and listening. It's alright. So you can see how I need to get a very specific heat only on one loop. So that's what I'm working at right now. You can't see it there, but it's only a really dull orange right now. I need to get it a little higher than that. I need to get a bright orange, low yellow, if I can, just to try to get that twist in there. John Plans, we'll see you back in a few. Yeah, I gotta get it hot. Right where I'm bending it is just about 1 inch thick. So it's 1 inch thick in the area that I'm trying to bend this. That is considerably thick. Stainless. See what color I got here. Gosh, alright. I'm going to have to add some leverage. Give me a second. I'm not going to bend that with my hand. I'm going to use a little bending fork. This is actually a fork that I've made in class years ago. Long time ago. Alright. Ah, gosh, that's still not going. Alright. Just wait for it. It'll get there. Alright, so what do we got here? 52 comments. The steel that I use to make my meat shears is just mild steel. I find that that's good enough. Good. Not a problem, Bob Dan. Or Bob and Dan, so. John Thompson. I actually did a video on the torch stand. I actually sell plans for it as well. It's a pretty simple thing. I mean, it's just got a notch out and a little deal to hold your torch body. And then it's got some adjustments so you can adjust height and to weld it on base. It's not too heavy, so that's great. It can be easily moved around the shop. And then, you know, when you're done with your torch, you just set it up there. Voila, hands-free, you can do something else. Won't do that too much because you gotta get a ridiculous amount of heat in here. Corey Shire, what is considered a non-scaling heat? A non-scaling heat is anything below a dull orange. You will not get scale or won't see the production of that scale popping off or flaking off the material. That is what you want to finish. It's considered a finishing heat or a planishing heat. That's why you planish and iron out all your wrinkles or hammer blows. Got too much oxygen here. Get that back down a little bit. Hey, Paul's Garage, good to have you here. See what I can do here. Sorry, I've got to get my focus right here, ladies and gents. Too expensive a job not to pay attention to. Woo! Did I mention I dislike stainless? I really dislike stainless. I'm going to see if that's about right. The temperature of a non-scaling heat is just about 1200 degrees or so. 12 to 1400 degrees, somewhere in there. Grab a pair of tongs. Grab it. Went for the wolf jaws. I've been going increasingly to the wolf jaws. They are pretty a handy pair of tongs. Alright, let's see what I got here. Okay. Okay, so I've got that bent to where I want it. But I've messed something up. It twisted right there. You see that? That's going to take a little extra special heat to get that back where it belongs. Because that hole has to line up with the other hole on the other side. And it's a clear 1/16 of an inch bent that way. So it ended up giving a little bit on that area. I didn't have it gripped up high enough right in there. So I'm going to have to lock that back in the vise. I've got the... yeah, oops. Oops is right. So I've got it in line where I want it. The way it kicks out, it's in line where I want it. So that's a good thing. But now I need to just get that little bit put back. So that's what we're going to do now. Sure, drop it. That works too. Wouldn't that be something if I dropped it and it went straight? But no such luck. Alright. See here. Alright, come on now. Not be a booger. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Fixing all sorts of mistakes tonight. It's like watching paint dry. Yeah, life go figure. That's right, Jim Boone. You may not be that blessed. Yeah, that's funny. I'm probably not that blessed on that one, but I'm really blessed, but not in that particular instance. Drop forge. Justin Poff, I'm working on a kickstand for a motorcycle for a custom client of mine. I've done a lot of work on this bike, and so I'm just continuing that work. And anybody who sees that they can answer a question like that, fill people in. Feel free. Okay. Well, that didn't go as easy as I thought. Never does. Give it a little persuader. Do a little twist. So the problem is this was cut exact. So we'll have to see how exact I get it back. Almost there. We're getting there. Corey Shire, nope, we're not done with the hand vise. I got it taken. That'll be next week, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping to do. I'm going to do the hot rasping of it and show some techniques on filing. So whenever you've got something like this, it is really good idea not to go too fast when you've made a screw up. The biggest thing you can do to hurt yourself is panic. Don't ever panic when you do something like this. Take a moment, get a big breath, look at it, figure out how you're going to correct the mistake, and then move on. Don't give it too much time. Here. A lot of guys make that mistake. You start saying, you know, you start seeing this here, and you're like, oh no, it's over. It's not. So, let's see here. This guy, I thought we eliminated you. Thank you, Paul's Garage. Let's see here. Somebody can block that guy too. Hide user on this channel. And we're going to remove him. Should be gone. He should be gone. There we go. I think he's gone. Thank you, Paul's Garage, for that. You're on it, pal. I appreciate that. FFC Rick, I'm glad you all enjoyed that. Yep, the band hammer. Oh, don't give his name. Don't give his name too much credit. Oh, I am glad he's gone. I thought I deleted him some other time, but apparently he came back like a plague. That happens. So, for anybody new that's joining the live stream, I keep my, just so you know the rules of the channel's here. The rules of the channel is, I am a smith that does not have to take care about you. If you'd like to voice your opinion, you can do it in a nice and pleasant manner, without vulgarity or profanity. If you use either one of those two, I boot you. I bring down the band hammer. Or somebody in the moderators will. And I'm perfectly happy to see you go. John B has to watch his language in this chat. Yep. Yeah, plagues always mutate and come back. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's just like a standard internet troll probably that comes through. But it is a privilege to be here. John Pledge, yeah. I've been in construction most of my adult life, so I know that the trades are rough and whatnot, but my channel doesn't have to be. I'm a family channel and that's the way it's going to stay. It's all about respect. Yep. It's all about respect. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. I gotta get this fixed here, ladies and gents. Just give me a second and I'll get this fixed up. And we'll move on to the Russian rose. Alright, got it done. By the way, I found whistling is a great stress reliever when you're in a high stress mode. Like when you're in front of a camera of 52 people working on a customer's job that needs to be out by like next week and you've just screwed up something that's, you know, a few, I don't know, $100 worth of ironwork. Yeah, whistling helps. Whistling helps. Just remember that. That's a quick tip. Just remember, when you're in your own shop, remember, Roy said whistling helps. Even if you can't whistle worth a darn like me. Yeah, that's got it back. Good. Woo! Worried about that one a little bit. Alright. Alright, see what we got here. Sha-cha-cha-cha. Sha-cha-cha-cha. Chink. Here we go. We're good to go. Steve Johnson, tonight's project is a kickstand for a motorcycle, and now a Russian rose. That's what we're going to get to. Saved by the torch. Yep. Whistle while you work. That's right. Yep, your shop, your rules. Enough said. That's right. Yep. I'm a struggling lost man. I can't afford the thus fancy word book. That's funny. For frog snacks, that's funny. They, oh gosh. I believe it's Tim Hawkins. He's a Christian, comic guy, comedian. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyways, he's got a funny one called the Christian cuss words. You know, the approved words for Christians. It's a pretty funny one. If I think of it, I'll try to repost it. I saw it on Instagram, I think it was. Anyways, it was a pretty funny thing. I did have to put that out there someday for everybody to see. Alright, so here we are. So, just giving this thing a real quick look over. But, so we've got it bent back in line where we want it. Just like that. So this way it's more in line and less forward. That should help the bike stand up. So that's technically how it is if you picture the motorcycle that way and you're looking from the undercarriage. So it's a lot better in line now. And that should help the bike stand up more. It will still rest on these coils here. So those there stick up. So it should rest nicely against the ground, I hope. Corey Shire, read my last comment. Let me see what here. Latest comment, Corey Shire. Yep, let every word thus proceed from your mouth be pleasing unto the Lord. Yep, that's correct. I think I just read that before. But, all right. Okay, so I'm going to set this thing down to cool. We're going to flip it around. We're going to do a Russian rose. If anybody's interested in that. So that's the last little bit I had to get done on that today. So I'm happy that's over with. Roll y'all around at the fire. And now I get to actually give y'all some instruction for anybody who cares to listen to that sort of thing. Okay, so a Russian rose is a very, very simple thing to make. We are going to do it. Now you can do it, there's a lot of different ways to do this, so, you know, keep in mind, a lot of different ways of doing this. I'm going to use the method with a Hardy tool. I find that method easy. There's also a method of just doing it if you have a sharp enough edge on your anvil. You can do that as well. But the basic principle of a Russian rose, if everybody can see this, bring it all up a little closer. Let's see here. So, the Russian rose is a fairly easy thing to do. We're just starting with a piece of flat bar stock. You can choose your thickness. I tend to go on the thinner side. I find it's a little easier to work and it's quicker. So you can make them out of a lot thicker stock. You just put less turns in them. The thinner the material you can work with, the more bands in the rose that you can get. But basically it works by just cutting petals into one edge of the rose like so. If y'all can see that, so you segment out areas and then you peen these out into petals. Then this here rolls up. So it just rolls it up then, and then you tweak out all the individual little petals and give it its kind of its final form. And then this portion here gets forged down and drawn out into a stem. And so when it gets drawn down, it actually gets drawn down to one side of the bar, like so. And it gets bent down in that same direction. And the whole thing coils around that. And it's a way of making a pretty quick, simple rosette kind of looking thing. So hopefully you guys will like that. So the first step in this process, we're going to go ahead and do the, we're going to get it hot, first of all. And then we are going to use our hot cut to come in and cut the segregations between the petals. Right on down the bar stock and then roll it up. It's going to take more than you think, so always have a good length. It's actually best if you can start with a piece that's really long. That way you know how much you need when you go to roll it up. You can kind of figure it out by how many petals you have. You can figure that out and how much that takes to roll it up. But once again, half a dozen of one and the other. So this here that we're working with is 1/8 inch thick by 3/4 inch wide by approximately 18 inches long. So if somebody can help me out with the metric tonight, that would be wonderful. And we're going to get started on this here. Move that out like that. You take a little bit of weight off this thing. It's got too much weight on it. Got it counterbalanced too much. So you can segment this very evenly, but it looks best if you start with smaller segments in the middle and then casually work out to larger and larger segments as you come out to the outside of the Russian rose. Any questions? Cool, Ben Toombs. Where is it in a hurry to get to? That's funny. Nowhere. Here come the rattlesnakes. Oh. Corey Shire, I'm glad you love the calla lily videos. I believe I did one a while ago that was just a simple forged calla lily. I've got one more iteration of that where I actually do a forged calla lily that has a forged welded in stamens. And so I like to do that. So Champ Ironworks just said my dimensions are 3mm by 20mm by 460mm. So for anybody who needs to know that good information, if you're on the other side of the world, thank you Champ Ironworks for that. You're quick to the calculator. Dan Boyles, you've missed me making a kickstand. That's about it. So now we're working on a Russian rose. The beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the... I want to say 1/8 inch is 3.175. I don't know how well that is or not, so. You got heaps of that size. Good. You can start making some Russian roses there, Graham. By the way, if I mess up and mispronounce your name, you'll have to forgive me. I do have a bit of an accent being a country boy, and sometimes people say it comes through, sometimes it doesn't. I don't really hear it, so there you have it. We get this good and hot, and so when I first start segmenting this off, I am going to come in from the end about, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch. And that's 9.5mm. I can see the ghost image over here. So I'm going to come in about that much, and then I'm going to just keep increasing that as I go by maybe 1/8 of an inch at a time, or 3mm at a time. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, see, some people say I have one from like the northern part of the world. I don't think I have a strong drawl at all, but you know, I mean, different strokes for different folks. So, alright, you're all not going to be able to see this very well. I'm going to flip you all the way around so you can see a lot better. So let's take you on a little car ride. Straight on down the interstate. You're going to get my thumb in the way. I'm going to flip you around. There you be it. There you have it. Everything's good like. Get out this little boom, counterbalance it a little better. Alright. We'll move you right around to where you guys can see. There we go. Prove it. Say Washington. Washington. See, that doesn't have no draw. That don't have no draw. Alright, gonna put that in there. And like in times prior, I do not use my smithing hammer for this. I use a soft face hammer. Because a soft face hammer can get nicked by the Hardy tool. And I'm not saddened. So like I said, I'm going to come out about 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to cut down about 1/3 of the way through the bar. Then I'm going to add about 1/8 of an inch to that. Cut down through the 1/3 of the bar. Another 1/8 of an inch to that. And so on and so forth. At some point, they will all be the same. They will all stay up pretty much the same. But not at this point, so. So as you can see, it's starting to curve outwards. Like this, it's starting to curve. Do not correct that. Leave that. You need that spacing so you can draw out the petals. So leave it just like you see it there. So now we're going to bring you up. We're going to go back over the fire and get it hot here. Alright. Get a little more heat on that. See if I can take some comments here in a second. Busier than a blacksmith on a YouTube channel all by himself doing the live stream. So get that good and hot. Let's see what we got here. Yep, ain't got no accent. Compared to your family in Michigan, Corey Shire, I don't have an accent. Good. Good to know I don't have an accent. Now, a lot of my family on my dad's side are from Kentucky, so there might be a hint in there somewhere at some point in time, but it's in the blood. All from Kentucky and Georgia, those areas, but my dad was never in the South. I wasn't born or raised in the South. So that's probably why I don't have the same thing going on, so. All right. Yeah, Champ Ironworks. Go ahead and let it rip. Tell everybody about the hammer in Northern Ohio. Go for it. Love for people to know about that. I'm going to go ahead and keep cutting this a little bit. Give myself some more petals. As you can see, I'm making the petals a little bigger each time now. Now all I'm doing is keeping this flat to the anvil. That's about it. So I think that's enough petals for my liking. I'm just going to do a fairly low petal count. That's, let's see here. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this one out here, when I draw this down, will be the 10th petal. So there you have it. That's how many petals we got. About 10 petals. We'll see how that comes out. You can adjust it for yourself, obviously. So now the trick is we have got to heat this up, starting at this end, and draw out each one of these petals. So that's really good for a cross peen. We'll get this good and hot. I'll check on some of your guys' comments here. See here. Why do I hit... Let's see here. Why do you hit the anvil between blows to the metal? The only reason why I do that on the Hardy tool, you'll see me do that a lot. I'll hit and then tap and then hit and then tap. It's so I don't get carried away and double cut. I kind of picked that up as a habit. It's definitely not needed. It's just a nice way of hitting and then kind of scooting off and resting the hand for a second before I go again at another whack. So that's why I tap the anvil a little bit. Yeah, I do prefer a hand crank, Jason Garrison, on my forge versus an electric fan. Yep, cross peen, no rounding hammer. I need the material to move linearly. I do not need it like a rounding hammer would do it, or a ball peen where it goes out in every single direction. This is where a rounding hammer is not particularly useful. You have to use a cross peen to draw it out. I know you're messing with me, Corey. You're a funny dude. Alright, let's see here. So I'm also going to switch to a much smaller hammer. Little cross peen, so I can get right in at the stuff. The stuff. Let's get this prepared here. Mickey Swift. I do not have the details when they're going to do the build your own forge. I know Bob Cruikshank teaches a forge class. I've got a forge burner workshop coming up. That'll be, I believe, in March. The details should be located on the Sofa's website, but I'm not 100% on that. So, alright, so now I'm going to peen these out and try to get them to stretch upwards. Like I said, a rounding hammer is not particularly useful for this portion here. You want to move all your material one direction. And we're going to end up texturing this too, but you see how that's made them go up? It's thinned them out, and it's made them go above the original surface level. You notice right here. So right there, right there, right there. So here's the drop. You can see the dropout. So we're trying to draw all those up above their original level. And I'm going to try to take some questions here for a second, since I've been mostly ignoring most questions so far, because I haven't been able to see y'all here. Flip you around. All right. Big ghostly Tyvek suit there. That was a little weird. All right, what do we got here for questions? All right. Let's see here. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Let's see here. Can you explain the advantage of the hand crank? The advantage to a hand crank is there's no need for an air gate, and it's not too hard to trim your fuel. So, yeah, Corey Shire, for the uninformed, watch Roy's vid on why he no like rounding hammers. That's funny. Yeah, Jess is okay. She's just she's probably pulling her hair out with the kids. Yeah, Brian Neely, you said it. Hand crank allows better control of airflow, pretty much. Yep. Everybody's saying it right so far. I watched a guy the other day. He had like an old-fashioned bellows. That thing was super quiet, super slick. I'm like, I could really get into that. Although it probably won't work in my shop currently, but I could really get into a good old-fashioned pair of bellows. Yeah, John Coffey, I am definitely enjoying the heat wave that we're having tonight. That's for sure. So, try not to burn this up while I talk, eh? Hang it from the rafters. Yeah. Well, I got enough headspace in here. That'd be neat, just being here pulling on pole chain. That'd be cool. I got you, Graham. I'm sure I would, Mike. You seem to be pretty impressed and enthralled with them. I've never gotten the luxury to work on an actual working pair of bellows. You know, I've messed around a little bit at Carriage Hill Metro Park. They had an old bellows system, and it was kind of ganky, and they didn't really want you to pump it a whole lot, so it needed the leathers replaced on it. And so I only did that when I was a kid, so I couldn't tell you how it even feels to actually work with a good set of bellows. Oh. But probably be pretty nice. So I'm going to try to peen out as many of these as we can. Now, once we get these pin out, darn, can't talk tonight, peened out linearly, we are going to cross peen them laterally, if that makes sense. Alright, we got a good heat on this. The one thing about this 1/8 inch stuff, it cools real quick. Yeah, the Carriage Hill Metro Park's a blacksmith shop. It's kind of a cool one. It's definitely a step back in time. Alright, I'm going to turn you all and put you down on there. So, hey, got a question. Why not an electric blower controlled by a foot-operated foot pedal like a TIG welder? Yeah, you could do that as well. It just becomes a bit of a hassle. If you're going to have an electric blower, the best way to do is have an air gate and turn it on and just turn it off. When you come out of the forge, you turn it off. When you come back to the forge, you turn it on and stick your metal in. That way you can get other tools prepared and stuff, and you're not standing on a dead man switch to keep it running. So, alright, let's see here. Need to build a hood for my forge. Any suggestions? I do hope to have some suggestions someday on that. Not right now. I still need to work on mine, make it a little bit better. So I want to get it better before I suggest a particular hood for somebody to make. The one I've got's okay, but there's a lot of things I could do better. Get these pedals bent out here. Trying to get as many done in one heat as I can, just for time efficiency for you all. Now it's just getting way too cold. This little hammer's not doing squat anymore. So there we go. You guys can see I'm pulling those up. So let me go get this hot again. I'll take that little bit of a curve out of it and go get it hot again. Oh! Alright. And take you for a car ride. Once again. And close up. Back around. Here we are. Isn't that kind of spooky? People, watch your children. Give them nightmares just flashing a guy's face like that. Oh. Let's see what we got here. Yep, that'll work. Good idea, Mike. Thank you for everybody who's helping up that, so answer that. Yeah, there's a lot of different styles hoods you can make. My preferred hood method is a power vented hood. I do not have a power vented hood, but I want one, so that's what we're going to go for on my next build. So and that'll be a lot better. So we have 53 people watching, 57 likes. Thank you all so much for that. Obviously, a few people had to go because I know you guys love me and all, but you can't like it too many times. Alright, so I'm going to flip this around. We're going to start getting this done a little quicker. And then I'll save question answering here for, if you give me about 5-10 minutes. We'll try to get this portion done, and then we'll move on to the stem. So, 60 likes. Cool! Thank you for anybody who's hitting that like button. Let's flip you around, get you back down. And boom! There you have it. And see if we can take it up a little closer. Bam! There you have it. Okay. Bring this out. Continue to work these out linearly. Now I have seen people not do this spreading bit. It thins it down a lot and it makes it a little nicer. Okay, so I have seen people not do the spreading bit or the lengthening of the pedal, and you can just leave it thick if you have thin enough stock. This is a little thicker, so I wanted to thin that out a bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and heat it up again, but I'm going to come out here and I'm going to do my set down. I'm going to do a last set down, which is a half on, half off blow to make that last little pedal there, so this way I can pull it out and then finish spreading these pedals. Get it hot again. Alright. Come around for anybody who's watching this. So yeah, let's see here. Let me read this here. Where was the crack in Olga? Right there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm crying a little on the inside. Let me take you away from her ugly side. So, That's where that's from. Let's see here. Mark S. Yes, notice you are peening out the material away from you. Is there any concern with drawing them towards yourself? Nope. If it's more comfortable for you to do that, you can do it that way. It's just easier for me to peen away versus pull back to myself. Corey Shire, your like button's getting wore out on my channel. That's good to know. Oh. No, Mickey Swift never wore the metal flip-flops. Those are definitely a gag, but I never did get those on my feet. Yeah, it doesn't look too hateful, but it's enough. After these years, is there one thing I struggle with in the shop? I'll try to take this heat and ask. Lonesomeness, I guess. One of the things I truly struggle with, I know you're talking towards technique. I can forge literally anything under the sun. And I don't say that to be, you know, facetious or anything like that. I literally do mean that. I have a good strong foundation in the fundamentals, and so therefore just about anything, literally anything that can be made by the blacksmith with heat and flame and fire, I can do. Now, one of the things I struggle with is creativity sometimes, because it's a lot easier to make a repetitive thing that you make money out of than to explore or push the boundaries of what you can do. So one of the things maybe on technique I struggle with is the patience to sit and do really high-end ironwork. Now, what I mean by that is stuff that takes a lot of time and like intense mental focus. I would like to do a lot more chasing. I would like to do repose work. I would like to do more engraving. Engraving takes a really long time and an attention to detail that I'm not yet accustomed to sit. I can do it, but I don't like to. So it just takes some time. Like I said, some people will probably rag on me saying, well, you can't forge anything that you want to, but trust me, I can. Metal arts to sports. That's funny. Thought you going to start a new trend. And when you hit the sub button, right? Oh, yeah. Well, that's cool, sub. Yeah, that was, you know, that was a real gag, you know. I thought everybody liked it pretty well. So here, all we're doing is we're just drawing down into that shoulder. And we're just trying to push this into a stem-like material. And I will obviously have to cut this off and draw out the stem from here. But I don't want to go with it too far. I just wanted to reduce that so this way I could free up that last petal so I could take and do that. So that's what we're going to work towards. And also, this thing's starting to get kind of hot in the glove, I think. I see the glove smoking, so probably time to change to a pair of tongs. If I can find a second to hold it, just fine for me. There we go. There we have it. Hold on. No, you can't see. Just trying to get through this last little bit here so you guys can... So this way we're coming up on 2 hours here, so... Yoo-hoo! Big summer blowout! Flip was like, that's hilarious. Oh man, that's too good. Oh. Olga is about 6 inches wide. She's actually like, I think just a tad over. I forget. Let's see here. Yeah, 6 inches wide across the top. My ruler out. 36 inches long. 14 inches tall. 14 1/4 inches tall. And yeah, 465 pounds. Let's see here. All right, let me see what we got here. Donald Roberts asks, is it hard to go from your forge to someone else's forge as far as using somebody else's tools? It's a little difficult. Usually the only thing that I like to bring with me are kind of, you know, my hammer. My forging hammer that I like. So that way I'm not swinging a big hammer all day or whatever. How often do you get requests for Mokame? Just watch that series of you. From time to time, not a lot there, Andrew Freeman. Not a lot. The square top length, each horn's a foot. Well, and it's not a foot. Not each horn's a foot. What are you talking about, Roy? It is 6 inches by 18 inches is this just the square bit. That's a pretty big anvil. She's a healthy gal. Alright. Now time to break out the little hammer. Let's break out the little hammer. And we'll do that final pedal. And with that, I'm going to cross-seam it to give it some texture and also make it look more like a pedal. Now you can see how those are starting to look more pedal-like. There we have it. So now I'll go ahead and heat it up and we'll just continue through those lengths. All right. All right, let's see what questions we have here. That's funny, Mike. Hey, Roy, do you want to build a snowman? LOL. I'm not going to break out in song. You love the accent. Yeah, that was funny. That guy's hilarious. I kind of wish I had a voice like him, but then again, there would be people who would be even more annoyed with my voice. That wouldn't be any good now, would it? Hello, Jerry 3534. May I ask what you're building? My building is a steel building with a concrete floor. The dimensions are 12 by 24. Exterior dimensions, not interior. Entirely different ball game there. Alright, let's see what we got here. Just good and hot. Come over here. Texture this pedal the right way. Same thing here. Same thing there. Okay, so now I've only got 3 more to do. These last 3, right over here. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres. Go ahead, straighten that out. It's starting to roll up on me slightly. I want to make sure I straighten that out so I get that hot again. All right. I'm not sure how they spell it. A Russian rose. Building a Russian rose or the Russian rose. I've just heard it spelled rushing rose. Maybe that's the way to say it. I'm not entirely sure there, ladies and gents. Not entirely sure how you say that. I don't do a lot of these. Yeah, and doing an excellent job multitasking. Well, thank you for that. I don't know how excellent of a job I'm doing, but I'm attempting for it. We're trying. We are trying. Okay. Alright, just about got all these. Alright, so there we have it. Now you guys can see all that texture started and everything. That's what we're wanting. So now, once again, we're not going to correct the curve. We're going to just start rolling this. And as we roll this, it's going to roll all the way around and it'll roll all that up. You can't really correct the curve at this point because if you look, there's no space for it to go back straight. You just kink your leaves all up. We don't want that. So now we're going to start rolling it up. Now we can do that with the anvil's horn to start it. You can use a pair of scrolling tongs. We will use the anvil's horn, and we're just going to start rolling the thing up just like so. So I'm going to go ahead and get that tip really good and hot and start there. Alright. Yeah, that is one strange bread knife, that's for sure. Been impaled. So is this a type of art, as in a Rose, Lynn's wife? Yes. It is a type of art form. I mean, it's organic blacksmithing, so you can use this in gates and railings and things of that nature. It can be just a standalone itself. Make your husband make you one. That's right, Lynn. Get to it. Champ Fireworks. Yeah, that's funny. I forget some people, not everybody on the face of the globe has kids. So let me go ahead and start this bend here. Now you want to bend with the texture in or out. It kind of just depends on what's your flavor there. We're just going to go right on around the horn. And before we get too far, we're going to make sure we roll this in nice and tight like. We want that to be really tucked in there. Okay? Try not to get too much of a flat in it. Trying to manage the camera here, ladies and gents. Sorry about that. It's pretty tough. Okay, that's kind of got it a little bit better. The rest of the rose is really going to form around this internal portion here. And this is too cold now. I need to get it a lot hotter. But you can see I kind of got a flat in there. I'm going to bring it out to this part of the anvil and kind of squat that down when it's hot. So go ahead and get that good and hot. And catch up on comments. Hopefully I answered everybody's comments. So you do yard art. LOL. Nope, not yard art. You could try if you like. The brand of my anvil, I believe, is a Pettinghaus anvil. Not a Reiflinghaus, but a Pettinghaus. Glad you're back, SS Smithing. So I'm trying to get this thing rolled up now. I'm just coming to the anvil. I'm going to try to round that bit out that I got all squatted weird. And then I'm just going to roll this, keep rolling this right on up around itself. Trying to do it where everybody could see it. is a trick. You just want to roll this up just like a giant Tootsie Roll. But this is the making of a Russian rose. So you can start seeing how that looks. So we're just going to keep rolling that up. Is that good and hot? Any questions? So here, could you use a rosebud heating tip on your torch rather than your forge to keep it hot as you work? Yes, you could. You could do that. And like I said, you know, you could scroll it up with scrolling tongs in the vise. I just wanted to show guys who don't have a torch how to do it at the anvil, essentially. No secret to it, just got to get it hot so you can work with it. Alright, got it good and hot again. And you may be asking yourself, Roy, why haven't you switched back to using your rawhide mallet? And it's because I want to give the outside a little bit of texture. So unlike rolling up a scroll, you just want to take and roll this up into like a big Tootsie Roll. Keep the bottom nice and tight. You see that there? See the bottom? See how the bottom is really nice? All nice and in plane? That's really the only requirement there. You want to make sure that stays like that. You guys can start seeing those petals in there. It's starting to roll up into a rose. Brushing the oxidization, the scale is pointless at this point. It's just going to get hot again. It's just going to scale again. My first anvil was a Harbor Freight anvil, 55 pounder. Awesome SS smithing. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying that. Yeah, Corey Shire, Tootsie Rolls. So, I'm glad the YouTube tip videos are helping some other creators out there. Kirby Flake, the Harbor Freight anvils, if it's all you have or all you can afford, they're good. If you have the money to spend, I would buy just a real anvil. If you have the money to spend. Sometimes that's not in people's price points, and smiths forget that in chats and forums, that not everybody can afford illustrious anvils. So, you know, once again, it really just depends on your budget. Let's just say it's definitely an economy anvil. I would not trust this to, like, you know, it shouldn't be your permanent anvil by no means. When I got my first real anvil, as far as like professional quality anvil, it was night and day difference. Night and day difference. Hopefully everybody can see this, okay? You guys starting to see that roll up? Starting to look more like a rose? Hopefully everybody can see that. Hopefully it's looking more like a rose. And we're almost to the end of our roll here. So now that this thing is mostly rolled up like this, before I finish this last bend out and roll here, I'm actually going to go ahead and forge this round. And when I forge it round, I'll bend this over and then I'll finish that last little roll. And then I can actually draw that out then, draw the rest of this out because I'll have clearance. Alright, get this getting hot again. Alright, questions? Let's see here. Yep, we're rolling the rolls. How long did it take you to start making a profit off your work? I probably started... Hold on, let me flip you guys around so I can talk. There we have it. Doot. Doot. There we are. Okay. So all I'm going to be doing on this next heat, just so this way I can talk and you guys can see my face for a little bit, all I'm going to be doing on this next heat is essentially just rounding up the stem area there. But to answer the question, how long did it take me before I was profitable as a smith? Kind of depends on your level of profitability. My first year doing it professionally, I made $800 a month as a smith. And that didn't buy a whole lot of diapers and didn't put a whole lot of food on the table. So it was really tight times, really tough times. But the good Lord was good, and you know, Jessica and I, we powered through it with some help of friends. You know, a friend of mine, his name's Richie Krim. He was really instrumental. He helped me do some side work, things that I could sit down. When I first started blacksmithing, to do it for a profession, I was involved in a car wreck, and so the very first thing I did was sit on a stool, and I made those little twisted horseshoe nail hooks. The same twisted horseshoe nail hooks that I've heard a lot of times, like, you can't sell that for that. Who would want to buy that for that? Well, apparently somebody did. They bought mine, and they bought them at the tune of about 300 to 400 of them a month. And it subsided my family. I made S-hooks and I made small stuff, anything I could sit down and sit at the anvil and do. As far as making a living full-time, or what you would consider a middle-class wage, I only started doing that about 3 years ago. So that was about 3 years ago that started, and I was actually able to make what you would consider just a regular middle-class family's wages would be, or just a little under that, just about poverty line, so, for America. I've been forging for a decade. 10 years is how long I've been forging for. I've been a professional smith for 7 of those years. So hopefully that answers the question good enough. It probably didn't. I apologize if it didn't. Alright, I'll bring you all down here a little bit. So you can see that. And we're just going to round this thing off. Just turn it into a little bit of a stem. Now this is really too cold to be working, to bring the heat back if I wanted to. I'm not looking to work that hard tonight. Alright, so you guys can see, rounded that off. I'm going to go ahead and draw that down a little bit more since I've got it this way, before I finish rolling her up here. Just heating a little bit more. Alright. Take you guys down out of the heavens. Alright, what we got going on? What'd I miss? Yep, Donald Roberts, you have to do what you gotta do. Yep, uneven surfaces, that's definitely for sure. Tin cutting, I wish it could be me. Yeah, that would be really cool to get out here. So, I wish I could make it out, but yeah, I hope you can get out too, Tim Cunningham. Also, you're the first person recognized as the Urban Forge. Sorry, I don't know. That probably wasn't for me. Anyways, I won't answer that one. You retired last May, started smithing a year and a half ago. Yeah, it would have been fun years ago, so. Yep, that's right, Andrew Freeman. It doesn't take a whole lot, so. Let's see here. Is a Harbor Freight anvil better than a railroad track or anvil-shaped object? That's a loaded question there, Tim the Tool Man. In my opinion, and I'll express, opinion, if I can put that out there. In my opinion, yes it is. And the reason why that it is that at least it looks somewhat like an anvil. And so you can familiarize yourself with the various parts of the anvil, even if it's not a good anvil. Okay? So that's why I would say yes it is. If you start with just a section of railroad track or just a sledgehammer head, when somebody says, oh, draw this down on the horn, you'll be like, well, that's good. If somebody says, cut this off with the Hardy tool and the Hardy hole, you're like, well, that's great. I don't have one of those. And that could kind of hold you back a little bit. Now, once again, Harbor Freight anvil is a great start anvil if you don't want to spend a lot of coin. If you really don't want to even spend the coin on a Harbor Freight anvil, go for whatever you can find. So, if you can find, yeah, a piece of railroad track that you didn't steal from the railroad, that's a great thing. But people are charging a lot of money for railroad track anvils now, and they're not that good of an anvil. So, yeah, steel one, we're still going strong. Hopefully I haven't burnt this up. See here. No, we're still good. I'm going to bend you all over here. Sorry. I'm going to move the boom over here. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Tim the Tool Man. Oh. Glad that answer helped. Or was a good answer. Alright. Good, 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 good. Alright, I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out how the rest of that goes. So you just keep drawing down sections of stock, keep working it down. Let's see what we got here. Love your term, Weekend Warrior Blacksmith. That's funny. Did I make that term? If I did, it's not meant to be an insult, promise. Good 120 to 150 pound anvil. That's about ideal for just about any smith, no matter skill level. It's just a good all-around weight. It's not so heavy that it's got to stay in one spot. You can drag it in and out of your garage. You can move it to any tree. You can move it around the shop easier, so you can figure out whether you like it or you don't like it in a particular place. Yeah, they're just easy to move around. Cart. You want to go to a show or a demonstration. It's a little on the heavy side, but it's still manageable. Once you get more dedicated, or if you're doing it more professionally, something of that level, or you've got a real dedicated shop that you know that you're going to be in for a long time, then you move up to a lot heavier anvil, and then you know, you don't have the problem with transportation and all that other stuff, buying a shop crane, engine hoist, or whatever. You're not moving Olga without an engine hoist. Hang it up. It's either that or a boom, crane, or a chain winch, or something you're going to have to get Olga out of here with. And that's, I know because I've set her on her stand that way. Nope, Olga doesn't go on road trips. Olga likes to stay home. She's a homebody. Yeah, if you can find a large anvil, if it's a 200 pounder, 250 pounder, 300 pounder, You know, if it's cheap enough, it's the price is right, and it fits your budget, go for it. But if you are needing to be portable, don't go over probably the 120 pound to 150 pound range. Yeah, Olga would still be sitting here. There's a lot of snatch and grab stuff, but Olga's not one of them. And I like that. So, plus, it just make a much bigger target for me to put my crosshairs on. Probably shouldn't say that on YouTube. This whole thing will be demonetized now. Yeah, 150, 55-pound hay bedding. Yep, that'd be a good one to start with. Yeah, nobody repeat what I said. I'll get demonetized for sure, so. If anybody caught that one, so. All right, I'm going to draw the stem out a little bit, and then I'm going to finish the last roll and show you guys how that looks, and we'll call that it, so. Get you right above here, and we'll go again. Also, while I'm doing this, you know, notice my smithing stance and style. I do not like bending over to forge on things. I like having a nice upright posture. And I can smith just as fast and just as hard as somebody with a 6-pound hammer, with a 1 3/4 pound hammer. It's all about using that mass wisely. You have the mass of that hammer coming down. You pick up speed. Get a full stroke if you need to. I'm settling down. I don't need full strokes on this now because I'm not moving as much material, just finishing her off. Give it a little bit of curve right now while we're at it. Voila. Alright. So there we go. We got our stem forged out. Now we do our last roll on our little Russian rose there, and the whole thing gets canted to the side. After we do our bend, we're going to do our bend next. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go to the vise. I'm going to just drop it in there and just give it a bend. Good stiff pull. You can also do it at the anvil if you'd like. If you don't have a vise, you just have to be careful of the pedals not to mash them too bad. And I suggest using a rawhide mallet for that. Alright, what did I miss? So we got 55 people watching, 69 likes. Thank you all for that. What did I miss? What did I miss? They may get it flip. That's the sad part. Yeah. Okay, Corey Shire, thanks for being here. What did you say, Roy? Oh. Okay, edit before you post. Oh, okay, I'll try to do that. Let's hear. What I was saying is I can smith just as fast. I can move just as much amount of material with a lighter hammer, swung from an appropriate distance from the anvil, reaching for the sky and pulling down. One of the things that doesn't get seen is when I come up, my hammer kind of cocks like this in the hand, and when I come down, I'm pulling that hammer down and it's rolling around, and I'm getting this extra little whip at the end. So I'm holding it all the way down at the end, and I'm coming down and it's getting a little extra whip right at the end, and that really throws the hammer and gets a lot of energy through it very quickly. Some people, they like heavier hammers and they just like short little punchy moves, but I like to use a hammer like it was meant to be, swung. In my opinion. Words, in my opinion. In my opinion. I wish I could put text on the screen about that time. That would be hilarious. So, alright, I'm gonna flip you guys around. I'm gonna put you over by the over at the Vise. So let's get y'all flipped around. Doot! I have never used an induction forge. Good to know that you're not leaving, Corey Shire. I like having you here. Oh, there we go. All right. Got that locked down. It'll be about right there. Sorry for the granulated video. That's the way it works when you're doing it at night. All right. So now, I'm just going to grab this in here. You guys can't really see it that great. I apologize for that. I'm just going to pull that stem down, and I'm going to hit it to try to sharpen it up. So I want that to be a nice sharp roll. If you guys can see that. And then I'll roll that last little bit right on around. Get that jaw out of there. Now the trick to this is you have to remember that you've rolled this up. So it's not going to be a perfect transition at the bottom. But I don't think I've ever seen a Russian rose that's had a perfect transition at the bottom. But you want to try to get it to where it looks somewhat even. What you want to do is you want to try to move that stem into that center. Do you see I'm trying to curl it to the center and center it up? And that way when you look at this thing, if you can hold on to it and don't drop it like I keep doing. So this way when you look at this thing from this angle, it looks like a rose. See? Just like that. Yeah, I keep drawing us off. Yeah, you'll have to sell a kidney if you want that. Man, there it goes again. Alright. Let me go stick this over the board and we'll do our last final tweaking on it. Give me a second. Be right back with you. Oakley dokley. Let's flip you around. That's a close-up. That's back around at my ugly mug. Giving little kids nightmares. Yep, tools want to be used, not abused. Rigid Ironworks, thank you for being here. Thank you for staying as long as you did. That was awesome. Yeah, FFC Rick, you're right. That's drop forging right there. That's drop forging at a premium. That is at a premium. See if I can't use a little smaller pair here. And a pair of rounding, a pair of scrolling tongs, and we're going to get that little bit yet. Donald Roberts. But when tools are over 110 years, it's kind of cold. Yeah, it's always tempting to buy a new one. I don't think I would personally buy a new anvil. I know it's not my conversation to chime in on. I mean, then again, I got Olga, so I'll just shut up. Oh. So all I'm doing is getting that curled around, just about right. I'm going to hold these wolf jaws, stand that up. There we go. And now I'm going to do my final little dressing up of this, or of the anvil. Now for this particular one, I'm just going to leave it rolled up. Most Russian roses that I have seen are rolled up. They're not, they just stay rolled up. They don't blossom, so to speak, or bloom out. At least that's the ones that I have seen. You may have a different experience. That's okay. But I'm just going to show you my way of doing it. And you can make up your own. Alright. go ahead and brush this up real quick. Hope you guys still see that. It takes longer to demonstrate these than it does to do them if you're just doing them by yourself. They are just so much easier to make without people talking, or without me talking and yammering. But there you go. Now you could obviously take all the petals there and you could peel them out a little bit if you want to bloom it a little bit. Like I said, I'm just going to leave this one rolled up. But there you have it. There's your Russian rose. Hopefully everybody enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to leave that big thumbs up on it. But you can cut this off. You can add it to a base. Add some thorns to it, leaves. And there you have it. So what do y'all think? Do okay? Land Brand said, yes we did. Did I make my apron? No, I didn't. So, cool. 77, 78 likes. Thank you. So, yep. So, there's your Russian rose. Like I said, this is meant to be an impression of a rose. It's not meant to be lifelike. It's just meant to be an impression. So, experiment with it. Play with it. Enjoy the process. Give it to your loved one with a smile on your face. Don't tell her or him about all the mistakes that you put into it, that you hammered into it. Just let it be natural and let people like it. So, put the hand in, LOL. It's right in there. Everybody likes the hand. See? It's got petals. Everybody likes that. So, anyways, so there it is. Russian rose, you guys saw it here. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to call it quits for the evening so I can get inside, get up early tomorrow morning, and get right back in here to the forge. Thank you all for spending time with me. John Tompkins, thank you for that. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Make sure you check out some other videos on the channels. We're putting out a lot of content every single day. It's kind of hard to keep up with. You don't have to worry about watching every single video. Watch the ones that you want to take and watch, and bypass the other ones and come back to them at a later date. So, God bless you, everybody. I hope you all have a great and safe weekend, and your upcoming week goes well for you. Many cool things still coming in the channel after I get all my orders out the door. Really appreciate you all being here. So once again, God bless everybody. Good night. And we will, like I always say, we'll catch you on the next one. God bless you all.